All right, for this tips and tricks, a very simple one. In play. Sometimes cards refer to cards that are in play. These would be cards that are currently in the game on the board state. Cards in your hand, in the discard pile, in the encounter discard pile, in the encounter deck, and in the victory display are all out of play. So anytime a card says do this for whatever cards that are in play, you are only looking at cards that are actually on the board or were just revealed from the encounter deck. All right, let's get to the video. The Battle of Laketown, the second Gen Con POD, and man is it a doozy. You are in an epic fight against a dragon, and it's very tough solo. Let's see how this quest plays out. So here are the scenario rules. You have a Smaug deck, which is made up of 3 versions of Smaug. It's set aside, and every round you're going to be revealing one of the versions of Smaug. And at the beginning of the quest phase, you must choose to either put it into your play area or the staging area, and then you reveal the card. When a new version of Smaug comes into play, any damage tokens from the other version transfer to that version of Smaug, and then you discard the old version. Smaug is only defeated when he has 0 hit points remaining. We also have a new keyword. It's Burn X, and that represents Smaug's devastating attack against Laketown. When instructed to resolve burn damage, you total the amount of Burn X on all the locations in play, and you add that to Laketown. Players have the option of exhausting characters, and those characters can take the burn damage instead. Thematically, that makes sense, because we all know the best way to put out a fire is to light yourself on fire instead. Okay, so here's the Smaug deck. Like I said, it's 9 cards, 3 copies of 3 different versions of the dragon. So you give that a shuffle, and we're going to set that aside, revealing a new version each turn. Okay, let's take a look at Laketown. So Laketown is an objective that stays in the staging area, and if it ever hits 50 or more damage on it, Laketown has completely burned, and the players have lost the game. So you do need to keep an eye on Laketown, keep it from burning. All right, Stage 1A, shuffle all copies of Smaug into the Smaug deck, and then we're going to put Laketown into the staging area. And then we are going to reveal 1 card from the encounter deck per player and add it to the staging area. And I'm telling you, that 1 card can really make or break this quest. There are some locations with an incredible amount of threat, and if you hit one of those and then on your staging step you reveal another high threat location, you could be behind the 8 ball right from the beginning. And I have had games lost on turn 2 easily because I couldn't quest for enough and then Smaug was killing me. So side 1B, it's 14 quest points. When revealed, deal 1 damage to Laketown for each player in the game. Okay, so we need to make 14 quest points to advance to stage 2. Who am I bringing on this quest? Well, I'm not messing around. This quest came out basically right after the end of the Dwarf cycle, so the card pool is still pretty limited for a really big power deck. So Elrond's going to be here. He heals an extra point of healing whenever someone is healed, and then he also can pay for allies of any sphere. And of course, he's a really good quester, defender, attacker. He's Elrond. I mean, he does Elrond things. But he's in here because this is a Vilya deck, and I'm going to be using his ring to get a bunch of allies in. To be honest, playing this quest progression style, I would really struggle to think of a better way to tackle this quest with the hero lineups and cards available at the time for a solo deck. In a multiplayer game, it would be much different. You would bring 1 deck that would handle combat and 1 deck that would handle questing, and you could take this quest on very differently. But in a solo game, you need to bring Elrond. I'm also bringing Glorfindel, so he's only 5 threat. And then if I get Light of Valinor on him, he will not be exhausted after he quests. And I'm also running 3 copies of Asphaleth because I'm going to need the location clearing ability of his mount. So 2 powerful cards to start out with here. Let's see who my 3rd hero is. It's Spirit Eowyn. I told you, I'm not messing around. Even with this lineup, I'm still going to struggle against this quest. So she's going to be questing for 4. Gives me another Spirit hero to help pay for my Spirit cards. And you can discard a card to increase her willpower by 1. As you can see, my custom tracker is on the table, and I have a starting threat of 27. So the plan here is very simple. Keep Smaug in the staging area until I'm ready to engage him. I need to ramp up my questing power very quickly, and if I don't have Vilya in my opening hand, it's a mulligan. Guaranteed mulligan. All right, we got Ancient Matham. There's some Daron's Runes. Stargazer. The Hammersmith. There's Light of Valinor. That's great. Arwen, great. I mean, this is a really good opening hand, and I have 3 cards that actually would let me search my deck and draw cards, but I'm shuffling it. I need to find Vilya. I can't count on finding it. So I'm just going to take a mulligan after that one, and hopefully we get Vilya. I've played this deck against this scenario a few times, and anytime I didn't have Vilya out by about turn 3, I lost. So it's just worth taking the mulligan to try to find it. Okay, Snowborn Scout, Gandalf. Okay, that's helpful. Gladrium's Greeting, great. Drops my threat. All right, Elrond's Council drops my threat. Stargazer, going to help me search. Light of Valinor. This is very similar hand. So it's my mulligan, so I got to take it. I did not record a previous version of the game live. I did my playtesting on Octagon, and this first playthrough is actually a win, but I lost. With this deck, I would say 50% of the time. Even if you get Vilya out, you can still lose. It's very easy to lose. How do you lose? Well, you get attacked by a dragon, and the dragon kills you. That's about it. Okay, and our starting card is the West Pier. It's a 2-threat location with 2 progress, and it gives all the other locations, including itself, burn 1. So that's a great card to start with. It's not much threat, so we can definitely handle that. All right, this is how I decided to set up my board state. So the Balrog tracker will keep track of the burn damage. On Lake Town, I added the 1 that I was supposed to add. The Smaug deck is to the right of the trackers. And let's see what I draw for my opening card. And it's a Ziggy. Okay, great. So the Stargazer Ziggy combo is going to be able to get online, so I'll be able to generate resources. When you're playing this quest, you need to get a chump blocker in play. You need to have somebody that can handle an attack from Smaug from turn 1. So that's the first hurdle you gotta be able to hop over when you play this quest. So the Snowborn Scout is going to be my chump blocker, and now I'm going to spend my 2 other resources, and Stargazer finds me Vilya. There we go. Okay, so there's another Stargazer. There's a great target for Vilya. There's some card draw. So I was able to find Vilya. I'll be able to get that in play next turn, so I'm going to move that to my top card that I'll draw, and then Gildor will be my target for Vilya. So I'm going to arrange my deck like that. Okay, so we're going to be sitting pretty good next turn, and all I got to do now is say where Smaug is going, staging area, and then that's the Smaug I reveal. He's 5 threat. Smaug the Magnificent. He's immune. Excess damage from attacks by Smaug the Magnificent must be assigned to Lake Town, so chumping him is very tough, and he's attacking for 8. And then when revealed, you move 3 damage from Smaug the Magnificent to Lake Town. So my strategy is I'm not going to damage Smaug until I can basically kill him, because every time you reveal this version, you're just losing damage, and you saw how much defense he has. So very tough dragon. So I'm sending all my heroes on the quest. I got to raise my threat by 1 because I don't have Light of Valinor on Glorfy yet. I'm sending 10, and the card we get is a Scorching Blast. When revealed, resolve all burn damage in play. Well, I have 1 location, and that has burn 1. So my burn damage on Lake Town goes up by 1. All right. I quested successfully, which is awesome on turn 1. So we're off to a really good start. A lot of the games I lost on turn 1, I didn't quest successfully, which made my threat go up, which meant I had to engage Smaug before I was ready, and then he obviously attacked me and I died. It's a dragon, for God's sakes. So this is a good start. This is a real good start. So let's go into turn 2. The version of Smaug we revealed has 30 threat. That's the lowest threat version of the dragon we have to worry about. Okay, Vilya, we knew we were drawing that, so it goes on Elrond. He gains the spirit icon. We exhaust Elrond, we exhaust Vilya, we put the top card of our deck into play. If we cannot, it goes on the bottom of our deck. So that costs 2 resources, and we know the top card is Gildor, so that's a very good trade-off, losing Elrond's 3 willpower and getting a huge ally that also has 3 willpower. So that is a great card to get into play on turn 2. I am going to spend my last resource to put Light of Valinor on Glorfindel, so he no longer needs to exhaust the quest. The version of Smaug that we had in play leaves. I'm going to add the next version to the staging area, and we get Smaug the Terrible, a 6 threat, 7/7/20. He's immune, and we have to resolve all burn damage from all locations in play. It's still just 1. Even if a location is the active location, it's in play. So we're going to do the 1 burn damage. It should be noted that these locations all have victory points. So when you clear them, you add them to the victory display. You don't put them in a discard pile. All right, so I am going to use Stargazer before we commit to the quest. And you can see I screwed up my tokens when I did that. I picked up the wrong token. But at any rate, I'm going to do the Stargazer now in case I get a treachery that would kill her. So I'm going to rearrange my top 5 cards like this. I'm planning on getting Ziggy into play next turn. So I'm trying to put cards that cost the same lined up. Okay, so now I think I got my tokens in the right places. Glorfindel does not exhaust the quests, and we reveal a 2-threat location, the Fisherman's Dock. And that lets you actually have 2 active locations. So that's kind of cool. If you get some location lock, that gives you the opportunity to create a second active location. So the location that was the active location has left play. It is now in the victory display. And we're going to travel to the location we just revealed. And that is it. You might have noticed that the locations have pretty low quest points. That's why Asphalov is so good in this quest. You definitely can get some use out of cards that clear locations from the staging area, like Northern Tracker and Asphalov. Alrighty, so I knew I was drawing that Ancient Matham, and now I'm going to use Elrond and Vilya to put Bofur into play. He's going to quest for 2, and he attacks for 2. So that's a real good target. And now I have resources to spend. I am going to spend those on Ziggy. So Ziggy lets you exhaust him, and then you name a number, and you discard the top 2 cards of your deck, and for each card that costs the number that you named, you get a resource to put on a hero. Trying to remember what I did with the Stargazer. I think I'll use her again just to see, because I dug down 2 more cards this turn. And okay, so there's a Test of Will. I really need to get that. There's Asphalov. I have Stargazer. I have Hammersmith. They all cost 2, so those are good targets for Ziggy. So I'm going to be using Ziggy to get rid of those first 2 cards you can see. And there's a chance I'll be drawing the next 3 with that Ancient Matham on the active location. Asphalov, where are you going? Come back. Let's say 2 for Ziggy. And they both cost 2. I'm always going to put the resources on Elrond since he spends his resource on any ally. Doesn't matter on the sphere, so he's the perfect target. And he has a spirit icon because of Vilya. So that's really good too. And we get another copy of Smaug the Magnificent. So that's the 30 threat. But I have an Elrond's Council in hand, so I'm not too worried. I've been waiting to play it because I don't know when I'm going to need that extra willpower to get active location out of the active location slot. So I am sending 12 at the moment. And the card we reveal is Town Baiting. When revealed, Smaug makes an attack against Lake Town. The players may declare a defender against the attack, and then excess damage from that attack must be assigned to Lake Town, and we cannot cancel that. So Smaug is going to attack Lake Town. He's attacking for 8. And we get a shadow of defending character gets -2 defense. So that doesn't matter. But we did just do 8 more damage to Lake Town. So that's going to bring the total damage to 11. All right, but it added no threat. So only the 5 threat from Smaug is in play. But I'm going to play Elrond's Council to drop my threat. Ancient Matham draws me those 3 cards that we knew were coming. So that's great. Now I have a Test of Will, so there is a treachery that could kill all my 1 hit point allies. I've had that happen before and definitely caused me to lose the game. So I am glad now to have a Test of Will. It's going to save my butt when I need to start defending a lot of attacks from Smaug, a dragon. I mean, the whole quest is you're getting attacked by a dragon if you don't play it right. So it's a hard quest, guys. This is a very hard quest to take on solo. You need to have a plan. All right, Stargazer takes a look. We got Daron's Runes, Threat Reduction, Something to Find, Attachments, which I don't need because I've already found my key attachments, another copy of Asphalov, and then a Winged Guardian. Those are in the deck, so when I do my massive attack against Smaug, I can use all or any Winged Guardians that I've gotten into play. I'm not even going to rearrange them. They're actually in the right order that I would like. So we're going to go into the next round. I am going to draw that Daron's Runes. Daron's Runes would let me draw 2 cards, but first I'm going to use Vilya and drop my threat by 6. So I've just dropped my threat by 9 in the last 2 turns, so that's huge. Okay, so now Ziggy for 2. The next 2 cards cost 2. So I'm going to put those 2 resources on Elrond. And then I have a lot of cards in hand, and they're all good. I got 2 location management type cards. So first, Asphalov. If you attached it to Glorfindel, you exhaust Asphalov to place 2 progress on any location in play. And then the Northern Tracker, when he commits to the quest, he places a progress on any location in the staging area. So that's great. And then I also have a Test of Will to keep my allies alive if I get that nasty treachery. Let's see what version of Smaug we're adding to the staging area. Okay, it's the last one. It's the one we haven't seen. This is Smaug the Mighty. He's a 7 threat, 5 attack. And when he is revealed, he makes an immediate attack against you. That's why you need a chump blocker. At least 5 attack. And there are shadows that could make him attack again. Deal 1 damage to Lake Town. More damage if it was undefended. Okay, so that's not too bad. And we lose our Snowborn Scout. Thank you, Mr. Scout. But yes, that version of Smaug right there, that's how you can lose on turn 1. Even if you get a chump blocker out, you get a shadow effect that makes him attack again, and you don't have anybody else in play, and you just lost. Alright, so sending everybody on the quest that I can, just trying to continuously make progress. I'm nowhere near ready to kill Smaug yet, but we're getting there. Alright, we get the Esgaroth Wharf. It's a 3 threat, and that's the one that has the shadow that makes it do an additional attack, so that was close. And it also makes all locations immune to player card effects. So all that location control I just put in play can't do anything until we clear that location. But I do make more progress. I just didn't make very much because that version of Smaug is 7 threat. 7! That's how on your first turn, if you reveal him, you have to take an attack, and then he's adding 7 threat. It's just very, very hard. Very, very hard. All right, let's use Stargazer and take a peek at what we got coming. So we got a Winged Guardian, Hennemarth. There's some shadow cancellation, so I definitely want to get her into play. Then a Dwarven Tomb, which would let me pull back something that's a spirit sphere from my discard pile. So I'm going to arrange my hand like that. And then we're going to go into the next round. So of course I do draw this Winged Guardian. I'm going to be able to play that with Elrond because he can pay for any ally. And then Vilya is going to put in this Dunedain Watcher. So you can discard her to cancel the shadow effects. So now I have a way to cancel an additional attack. And I'm going to play Daron's Runes. So Daron's Runes comes in. I draw Stargazer and the Dwarven Tomb. I'm going to discard Stargazer. Those are the cards I have in my hand. And things are looking good. Now I just need to get my attack online. I need more allies that have attack. And so then when it's time to kill Smaug, we can. All right, next version of Smaug going into staging area. Same one. 7 threat, and he's going to make an attack against me. All right. So I think the Ziggy, he did good. He got me some cards in play, but now he needs to be fed to a dragon. And the shadow is we add this location to the staging area. So we're adding more threat to the staging area. And it's immune to player card effects thanks to the active locations text. And Ziggy has left play. Thank you, Ziggy. All right, let's figure out how much we're going to send to the quest. I can't use Northern Tracker's ability. I can't use Asphalof's ability. That really stinks. Sending everybody that is not currently exhausted onto the quest means I am questing for 14 and reveal a 4 threat location. I can deal 2 damage to Lake Town to put that card in the victory display during the travel phase. Okay, so unfortunately I only make 1 out of 4 progress on the active location. So discarding a card to Eowyn will not get me the progress I need. So getting a little location locked, but those locations do give you the option to clear them out. I just really wish we hadn't had that immune to player card effects location come out. It's really messing with my location control cards I just put into play. So let's take a look at this one. Travel action, deal 2 damage per player to Lake Town to add this to the victory display. So let's do that and get that threat out of the staging area. I am now at 14 damage out of 50 for Lake Town. And then this location says travel. If there is 1 active location, exhaust a hero you control. There are now 2 active locations. Well, Glorfindel did not exhaust to commit to the quest, so I can exhaust Glorfindel and travel there. So I did get all that threat out of staging, but I still have to deal with these locations. All right, let's ready everybody up, raise my threat, and then Stargazer is going to take a peek. So the next 5 cards. And we got, there we go, there's Beorn. That's my attack power right there. So I'm definitely going to be using Vilya to get him in. Dory is also a pretty good attacker, and he can take the damage a hero would have been dealt by exhausting. So I set my hand up like that. Hennemarth is going to be a chump. If I get attacked by Smaug, he's just going to get fed to the dragon. So thank you, Hennemarth. I have no reason to use your ability on this quest. I need you as a warm body to be fed to an even warmer dragon. All right, let's use Elrond and Vilya, and the big bear comes into play. So Beorn is now in play. He can do a massive attack of 8, and then he gets shuffled back into the player's deck. So I'm planning on having him deal a lot of damage to Smaug. All right, so I have a lot of resources, and I have a Gandalf. So let's put Gandalf into play, and I'm going to be dropping my threat with him. So now threat should not be an issue for the rest of the game, and my attack power is basically online. I just need to progress through the next few stages. I am worried about the damage on Lake Town, and I'll explain why in a minute. Okay, we get Smaug the Terrible, so when revealed, we got to resolve all the burn damage on cards in play. Cards in the victory display are not in play, so it's just the burn damage of the 2 cards that are my active locations. We are now at 16 damage on Lake Town, and this version of Smaug adds 6 threat. Time to commit to the quest. We're going to send as much willpower as we can, including Gandalf, Glorfindel, and Éowyn. Got to clear 2 active locations. Even Beorn's going to jump in. And we are sending a total of 20, and we get Dire Magnificence. So we each have to discard an ally. If you can't discard an ally, you got to do 2 damage to Lake Town. So it says you must discard an ally. So we have to do that. So Hennemarth is going to leave play. I did make a ton of progress, though, so I definitely cleared both of those locations, adding even more victory points to my victory display. And I believe that is enough to clear stage 1, so we are going to advance to stage 2. 2A, some awesome flavor text, fire and water. 2B, 10 quest points. Smaug cannot have more than 12 damage on him. And then when the players quest successfully, any number of progress tokens that would be placed on this quest may instead be discarded to remove the same number of damage from Lake Town. So we are definitely going to be doing that the first staging area of questing that we're going to do, because we need to get the quest points down. There's currently 13 victory points in the victory display, and what you have to do is get the number of damage on Lake Town to be less than the number of victory points in your victory display. Alrighty, using Stargazer, here are the next cards that are coming. I'm going to arrange them like so. I'm going to draw Elrond's Council. I'll be able to Vilya in Dory. Let's get some resources. Let's raise my threat. Threat is not an issue. Elrond's Council is going to make it even less of an issue. Vilya, Dory. All right, 2 attack power. That's good. We're just going to move forward with the next version of Smaug. So looking at the versions we've already revealed, one of each is still available to be revealed. So I can't count on anything. And then I get Smaug the Magnificent, so we would have to move damage from him. But he's the least amount of threat, so that worked out okay. So he's only 5 threat. We're going to send everybody that we can on this quest, with the goal being, let's remove as much damage from Lake Town as we can. So I am sending 18, and we get a 4 threat location. I'm going to use Asphalov to put 2 progress on that location. But it's not enough to clear it, but we do get the ability to remove 7 damage from Lake Town. So that's good. So now it's only at a 9, and we have a lot more than that in our victory display. So we've got that balanced out the way we want. Stargazer is once again going to take a peek. Okay, Overhill, Underhill, Gandalf. Great. That is really great. I can't remember exactly. I think I have 2 copies of that Gandalf and 1 copy of the core set Gandalf. Maybe it's the other way around. But you still can only have 3 copies of a card by name. And I did get another Winged Guardian, which is really good. So now I'm going to have 2 Winged Guardians, plus Beorn, plus Overhill, Underhill, Gandalf. So that is going to be a lot of attack power that I can muster up against Smaug. And we should be able to deal a lot of damage to him in one big turn. And that's the goal. Just hit them all at once and take them out. Okay, so Vilya in a 5-cost ally. He does not exhaust a quest. And then at the end of the round, I got to raise my threat by 2 to keep him in play. His 4 attack is going to be extremely useful when it comes time to deal Smaug his death blow here. All right, so my plan is to quest through this stage this round. I know I have one of two versions of Smaug I could be revealing. It's either going to be the one that attacks me, or it's going to be the one that makes me resolve all burn damage in play. And the one we get is the one that attacks me. He's going to attack me, and for some reason I use Gandalf as my defender. I should have used Beorn. The most he could attack for is 7, and so now Gandalf is exhausted going into the quest phase. And this is the shadow effect, +2 attack and additional attack. So that's the shadow that I was worried about. I am going to use my Dunedain Watcher to cancel that shadow, so I do not want him attacking again. Gandalf takes some damage now. He was just going to take 1, but now he's going to take 3, leaving him with 1 hit point. But 7 is the most that version of Smaug ever could have attacked for. So I should have used Beorn. That would have been smarter. Then Gandalf still could have quested. All right, speaking of the quest, let's get ready to handle the questing. So Northern Tracker is going to clear that location. It had 3 quest points. I'm sending everybody else that's ready, that has willpower. So when it's all said and done, I'm sending 15. We've cleared another location to add to the victory display. And we're up against 7. So 15 against 7. And we get close to the flame. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each character in play. Well, that's the that's the other card that I was worried about that I need to cancel. So that would kill my Stargazer, Gandalf, and both my Winged Guardians. So obviously I'm going to play a Test of Will and cancel this. I end up making 8 out of 10 progress, so I'm 2 short. But I do have ways to boost my willpower, so I will play Elrond's Counsel, dropping my threat by 3, but that gives me 1 more willpower, and then I can discard a card to Éowyn, and that'll give me another willpower, and I'll have quested for exactly 10 progress and clear stage 2. So I'm going to discard the Gladrium's Greeting. I don't need to worry about my threat. And now we are going to advance to the final stage, stage 3. So stage 3A, some nice flavor text. It's the Dragon's Wrath. And then this says, forced, during the quest phase, reveal 1 additional card from the encounter deck. Refresh action, you can go back to stage 2B. And then the players must defeat Smaug during the stage. When Smaug is defeated, compare the number of damage tokens on Lake Town with the number of victory points in the victory display. If the players have more victory points, they have won the game. Otherwise, Lake Town has burned and the players have lost. So that's why I wanted to back off the damage we had on Lake Town. All right, so we need to kill the dragon and we need to keep our victory display higher than the damage on Lake Town. So that's where we're going to end this round. There's no reason to engage this dragon this turn since I can't do enough damage to him. My threat is fine. I know which version of Smaug we're going to be revealing. I need to raise my threat by an additional 2 because of Gandalf. So this turn, if everything goes right, we should be able to win. I am going to be using my Dwarven Tomb to pull back that Test of Will, just to guarantee nothing surprises me. All right, let's see what Stargazer sees. The 5th card down was that last Winged Guardian, but I've almost gone through my deck, see? So that's what's so nice about the Stargazer Ziggy. You can really make your deck, you can really go through your deck and make sure you find your key cards. Okay, so I've set up my hand like that. I'm going to be drawing my 3rd Winged Guardian. Elrond can pay for him, so I will do that. So I've gotten 3 Winged Guardians and Beorn into play, plus Overhill, Underhill, Gandalf. Plenty of attack power. I have a Test of Will that I'm going to be pulling back with Dwarven Tomb, so I'm not worried about what card I reveal from the encounter deck. And I'm going to put this version of Smaug in play engaged with me, so I have to quest over even less. He would make me resolve all burn damage in play, but I don't have any. So I'm sending just Glorfindel and Gandalf because neither of them exhaust a quest. Sending 7 against 0. I don't have to make any progress, and we get a 3 threat location. When revealed, discard X cards from each player's deck. X is the amount of damage on Lake Town. And here I make a very dangerous play. So I just use a Test of Will so I don't have to worry about that. But I forgot I need to reveal a 2nd card. I remember it after I deal the shadow card to Smaug and reveal the shadow card. I remember that actually should have also been revealed. So I could have used that Test of Will and then had a nasty treachery come out here that I would have had to handle. So it's a big mistake on my part. Forgot about revealing the 2nd card. So I'm going to end up using the Northern Tracker as my defender. We reveal the shadow card here, and it is a location without a shadow effect. And then that's when I realized I should have revealed the 2nd card. So luckily, playing that Test of Will did not hurt me when I did. And now here's the actual card that should have been a shadow, and its defending character gets -2 defense. Well, that doesn't matter. Northern Tracker was getting burned alive anyway. And then everybody who's ready that has an attack power, which is everybody, is going to swing back at Smaug, and we are going to see if we can muster up enough damage to take him out. He has some massive defense we have to punch through. And I did not reveal the objective that is in the encounter deck, which lets you discard cards from your hand to reduce his defense. So it's all just straight up attack power. Sending everybody I can, plus Beorn's 8 attack. I have mustered up a grand total of 34 attack. And to kill Smaug, we needed to get 27. So that is enough. I have mustered up enough attack to kill Smaug. We have less damage on Lake Town than we have victory points. So we have won this game. Battle of Lake Town in the books. Thank you so much for watching this video. Up next, we're going to head over to the Ringmaker cycle. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.